Happy holidays and welcome back to the Cartridge Twins, where today we're going to get into the holiday spirit and take a look at outright games, the Grinch Christmas Adventures for the Nintendo Switch. Let's see if this game is worth it. Have a great Grinchy time trying to stop Christmas in this festive adventure and help the Grinch's heart grow a few sizes along the way. I imagine most of us know the story of Dr. Seuss's The Grinch, and this game sticks to that classic tale very well. From the Grinch's loathing of all those little Whos down there in Whoville. Every Who just loves to sing and gift and feast and dance, and these are all the things the Grinch can't stand in the least. So, it's a great story. Is it a great game? Well, I just want to mention early on, and I will probably repeat this fact, this game is clearly aimed at a younger audience. But will that demographic even enjoy this game? Will you find any enjoyment out of this game? Let's slide into the visuals first to really start this thing off and find out.
And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas.
This game has colorful visuals inspired by Dr. Seuss's original illustrations. Are the visuals anything amazing? Are they even memorable? Not really. There's not much variety in the level design, the enemy types, or the animations. They're serviceable, but it's clear there was no real dedication to making each area stand out on its own. So all the levels, they kind of blend together, which it's kind of sad, especially considering the source material. The enemies are also pretty bland. I mean, how many winter spiders do there need to be? Are there even winter spiders at all? In the Grinch, I have no idea, but in this game there are tons of winter spiders. Not to mention, every single enemy type is reskinned as another enemy type. So, for example, the bats that you're going to encounter later on in the game, they turn into musical notes, which essentially act the exact same. So probably very similar code, just reskinned. The animations also, they aren't necessarily bad, but I mean, they kind of are. You get locked into them for a split second, which can lead to taking damage. Not that that's a huge deal. I mean, the game is definitely on the easier side, but still, it can be frustrating. And there was even a time I found a glitch where when you're in one of the houses and you're trying not to get hugged by a Who, Max, the dog, got stuck in the floor. So I had no way to use him. I couldn't progress, so I just had to reset. It was a pretty soft lock. It was annoying. More annoying than anything, but again, it's an easy game, so okay. It only happened once. The sounds in the game were probably the biggest letdown, because when you consider the Grinch, it's all about that rhyme and the music that goes with it, and of course the dialogue. They didn't take Buddy the Elf's advice on singing loud for all to hear to spread that Christmas cheer, because what's here is pretty bland. And don't get me started on the Grinch's sounds. Oh my goodness. I wish they could have given him some dialogue or something. Even if it got repetitive and annoying, I would rather have some dialogue than nothing, because we're just left with some strange grunting noises. And then, of course, when there are spiders close by, you hear this lovely, like, sandpaper sound. So if you're into that sort of thing, enjoy those spiders. Alright, let's switch gears and talk about the gameplay and some about the controls. So, first up, I have to mention the load times. This game, as we've already talked about, is not visually intense. There isn't much there when it comes to level detail, but still, these load times between just about every screen is going to leave you with time to fire up your oven, load up some pizza rolls, and still Have time to ponder upon life's meaning. But seriously, you will be seeing more load screens than you would like. For load time comparison, think the Smurfs Mission Leaf. If you've played that game, you get the idea. Though, I would argue that Smurfs is arguably overall a better experience, but that can be a whole nother video. The controls, and this is becoming a common theme, are again mediocre. They claim to be made for younger audiences, which is understandable, but they just aren't great. The jump is floaty, you get stuck in animations at times, it feels clunky, and the variety of abilities, they don't seem all that useful. They're just kind of there. You unlock these skills, these abilities, by collecting puzzle pieces, and then solving the easy puzzles between levels. And yes, they are easy. Some of these abilities include double jump, candy cane lasso, heart upgrades, jetpack, etc. None are terrible by any means, but you can get away with barely using most of them. One last thing I should mention, once you finish the game, you unlock a mirror mode. Neat, I guess. Basically you play every level backwards, but the game acts like you've never played before. It's meh. Anyway, for comparison, if you've played the Addams Family Mansion Mayhem for the Nintendo Switch, then you have a pretty good idea of how the quality is in the Grinch. After all, both games are made by the same studio, Outright Games, so the similarities make sense. Is the game worth it? I'd say if you see it on sale for $10, maybe $15, then why not give it a shot? At the very least, you get a short, simple holiday experience, especially if you purchase the game for a younger individual. As Grinchy as I've sounded, I did have a bit of fun with this one. It's fine. It is a Christmas game after all, so it's kind of nice to break out every holiday season. Will I play it again though? Having said that, maybe. Maybe next year I'll do the mirror mode. So again, if you can get it cheap or you're just in the mood for a quick little holiday adventure, then sure, go for it. But having said all that, happy holidays, and as always, remember, without video games, things do not seem to go as well.